Welcome to the SubSummit podcast. Real conversations with the operators scaling subscription, membership, and recurring revenue in today's commerce landscape.
Mel Fox is the director of lifecycle marketing at Dollar Shave Club, one of the brands that's helped define the modern subscription economy. From startup disruption to life under Unilever, huge difference there, and now private equity ownership. Mel has had a front row seat on how subscription brands actually evolve and what actually keeps customers around for a long time. Today, she's focused on retention, lifecycle strategy, and how turning one subscriber into a multi-category customer can dramatically increase loyalty and lifetime value. Mel, I'm excited to chat with you. Let's give her another warm round of applause before we get rolling here. Mel, you got a front row here. This is good.
I know. It's
now
kind of
put yourself really close to your microphone. Real close. So what still makes Dollar Shave Club different in today's growing grooming market?
Yeah. So, when we first started, right, we were like the only brand that delivered razor blades to your door, right? Now, every other brand does that too. So it's like, how do we kind of set ourselves apart from that? I think that from our marketing strategy side, we look at it in two ways. One is we really try to push the full routine now. So we do actually have products for your bathroom, like every product that you would need. We have shower products, we have skincare, we have everything for the bathroom. So I think it shifted a lot from just trying to get, customers to buy our blades and get them delivered once a month to getting them to develop a full grooming routine with us. And then also, I would say another part of the strategy that has shifted a little bit is we're pushing household more than just a one-on-one connection. Now we have, most people, have a roommate or a sibling or a partner that they live with. So really trying to push to the full household to get them to adopt a shaving routine with us. And we came out with 2 new lines. So a woman's line, which helps with the household push, and the products are incredible. I've tried them all. They're amazing. And then also we just came out with last week a new electric line as well. So really trying to kind of broaden the assortment that we have and really get people to really adopt a full routine with us.
How has the business really matured while keeping its originality? How did it, you've grown, it sounds like you've grown into a whole bunch of different product lines and a whole bunch of different things where it's no longer just, razor blades delivered to your door once a month. So talk about how it's retained some originality at the same time growing, expanding the product range.
Yeah, so I think that, we've gone through a lot of migrations, right? So when I first started, there was multiple migrations. I would say the biggest one was platform migration. So went from a homegrown platform onto Shopify, and Order Groove is our subscription company. And we also changed our CRM as well. So a lot of migrations, right? But all of that was done so that we could scale the brand, but also not lose that fun element of our brand. So we have a lot more data on our customers, I would say, so we can personalize the strategies a bit more. And yeah, I think honestly, just like a lot of migrations, a lot of scale, but also not losing that fun Dollar Shave Club voice.
Yeah, good. So talk about the company focus on maybe metrics and operations. How has it changed over your time there?
Yeah, I would say that it's changed quite a bit. We just have a lot more data. I think that overall, for every company, right, customers are just shopping differently. So we have a lot more insight into what they're doing. I think when the company first started, right, it was 13 years ago. And now customers have all this access technology. It's mobile first. It's really we've adapted, I guess, our strategies to match how the customers are shopping nowadays. And with those changes, we've shifted to a lot of different testing. So a lot of A/B testing. We run about 5 to 10 A/B tests per week on the e-com side, really to try to understand the customer better. I think that we make a lot of assumptions in terms of what are people doing or what we think they're doing, but we have a lot more data to understand what they're actually doing. So kind of adjusting our life cycle based on the behavioral data that we do have. And then also new platforms that we have access to. So we also use a platform called Full Story that we can kind of dig in and see actually what the customers are doing on our platforms. Because again, I think that there's a lot of assumptions that we make, but then we go in and we see a customer journey and we're like, what was that? Why did they make that move, or why did they click there? So I think that, yes, we have a lot more data, so we've had a lot more ability to kind of adjust our flows from the lifecycle side, a lot more personalization as well. So
I think for my personal experience, I fell in love with the Dollar Shave Club brand, the voice, because it really was kind of this goofy, this quirky kind of vibe. How important is that in the retention of your customers, and how do you see the evolution of that coming down the road?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important, right? I think it also goes back to the first question, like what differentiates us, because a lot of different companies do what we do. So if we can make somebody laugh with an email or a video on site or whatever it might be, I think that kind of building that emotional connection with the brand is still very, very important. And I think it's really important to make sure that that brand voice is shown throughout the entire life cycle journey, not just through email. My team does email and SMS, but not only that, I think on the site as well. So personalization on the site, making sure that there are those moments that people can connect with your brand and make it stand out.
You'll have a customer that might subscribe to many different things.
Yeah.
They'll subscribe to blades, but now you have a bunch of different products. How do you bring them into the full circle, the full complement of products that you have?
Yeah, so I think that it's a lot about like making sure that we understand kind of where the customers are visiting most, like where are they engaging most. So we have, for our company, there's two main places that we see the most engagement for this upsell, for this additive products. One is when they get that email that's a few days before their box ships that everyone clicks on and engages with, right? And usually we hope that they're not going to cancel or skip. We hope that they're going to add a product there, but they're thinking about your brand, right? So that's kind of a moment to capture them. And then also I would say another big opportunity is on the account page. So we can do a lot more personalization than we've ever been able to through the account page. And I think that's another kind of big opportunity to push that, because again, that's where people are going when they're thinking about adding products or hopefully not skipping or canceling, but kind of that's where we're really engaging most of our customers. So that's a great spot to drive additive subs.
So you guys do a lot with email, I think, still. So why does email continue to outperform newer channels for retention and for repeat customers?
Yeah, so I would say that email it's the best place for us to test. Like we can test very quickly and efficiently. I bet a lot of other brands here feel the same. Because we have a really big subscriber base, and our open rates and engagement rates are very good. So we can learn something within 24 hours after an email is sent. So I think it's really like the testing and learning part of it that I think is huge. And then also we can test a lot of different messages. Like what are customers most interested in? Like, is it the claims? Like what claim makes sense for you? Probably won't sell me, right? So it's like a lot of testing within our claims, frequency, because you'll need your blades maybe once every month, where I might need them once every 3 months. So we can test a lot of that within our email. And also I would say like another biggest area where we test the most and is the most efficient is, again, that same email goes out before your box ships. But we can run a lot of tests with one-click ability now. So we have one-click ability through Order Groove. And so they can take quick actions like skipping their box, adding a product to their box, whether it's one time or a subscription. But it's definitely our quickest way to learn is through email.
Let's talk about metrics for a second. Is there a specific retention metric that subscription brands should pay close attention to when it comes to their brands today?
I think that just to switch it up, because I feel like this usually brands say mostly the same things. So I'll switch it up and say that I think something that brands should look more into is additive subscriptions. So like I said, our goal right now, our strategy is really to drive full routine usage and not just one product. Because if you have someone that has 2 or more products with you, they've developed some type of routine. Usually we see 2 to 4 products. They've developed a routine, right? So it's a lot harder to cancel when you have a full routine, or you might cancel one product, but you're probably not going to cancel your full routine, especially because we humans love a routine, right? So we don't love change. So I think that that's a really interesting metric to pay attention to that most people don't really think about.
Are you throwing an extra product in the box every now and again to get somebody to try something new?
Yes, for sure. Yes, we have. That's why we have our trial sizes so that we can throw those in there.
Love those trial sizes.
And test, right? I know. So we can test with that. And then also with the new women's line, we actually have a lot of packets, and they're all the different shave aids. So we have shave oil, shave balm, we have the scrub, but they're incredible products. And so that's another thing about Dollar Shave Club, because we're so affordable. Like, people might think that the quality isn't there, but the quality is actually really there, and you can see that in all of our ingredients of our products. And so we really try to get them in the hands of the customer. I think that's the most important thing, especially with the female line. Once I had tried something, I was like, okay, I'm sold. Like, immediately I'm adding it to my subscription. But sometimes it's hard, right, to get someone to subscribe to something if they've never tried it. So,
all right, so let's give away a little trade secret here. Is there one retention tactic that Dollar Shave Club does especially well that maybe other brands could copy? Are you listening, everybody? Because this is the one to copy.
So I'd say there's two. One is RFM. So we implemented RFM flows, which is just recency, frequency, monetization. So with those flows, we have a lot more personalization within our email categories. And this is a huge way to treat your customers differently based on the behaviors that we know about them. So it's not a set it, forget it flow. It's based on when you last purchased, how much you spent with us. And so we know those things about you. So I think that's huge, because if you're an at-risk customer, we're not going to be sending you promotions, right? Because we just want you to stay. Like, we're going to send you things to retain you and not try to upsell you because you're at risk to leave, versus someone that's a champion in the brand, right? They're already spending with us. They've been with us for 5+ years, probably not going anywhere. So what can we offer them that's of value to them without giving a discount? So that's I would say that's the biggest one from my side on the lifecycle team. And then I would say another one that we kind of have incorporated recently is churn score. So we have a score for each of our customers. And so again, it's similar to RFM, I would say, but we can segment by those people. If they have a higher churn score, again, that's someone that we don't send promotions to. We actually don't send really any emails to, other than the transactional ones that we have to, right? That are your box delivered or you're about to get charged. So I'd say those two have been extremely, extremely valuable for us.
Now, I know I didn't prepare for this question at all, so I apologize ahead of time if I'm going to throw you off center here, but is there a piece of advice that you would give someone that is new in the subscription world and they're in marketing and they're trying to figure out what is it give me one piece of advice that you would want to share with them just to either get in the game, stay in the game, or do better in the game?
One piece of advice for someone starting in lifecycle, like starting in the subscription world.
Sure.
Yeah. I would say, first, understand where the company that you're at, understand what their drop-off points are, because every single company is so different. For us, right, our AOV is a little bit lower than most other companies. So getting someone to add a product to a box is a little bit easier. If you're a higher AOV company, that's a little bit harder. But I think my advice would be really just dig into as much data as you can within Shopify, if you have Klaviyo, whatever other resources you have. If you have other data, like we have Tableau dashboards that really can show us, where the big drop-offs are, where a lot of times you can find these generic trends. And I would say, dig into that first, because if you can find a big opportunity for saving as many customers as you can from possibly churning, that would impact the business tremendously. That's what I'd say.
Okay. And is this your first time here at SubSummit, or have you been here before? Great.
I've never been here. Yeah.
You saw this on your schedule. You knew you were going to be coming. What was one thing that you'd hope you'd walk away from, other than being able to present in front of a large audience? What was one of the things that you wanted to walk away from at SubSummit this year?
Honestly, I really just wanted to interact with other subscription brands and kind of see what they're doing. If they're having, a lot of the times I feel like our subscription companies, we're all battling the same type of issues, or we find common denominators of things that we're all dealing with. And I think that I kind of just would love to speak to other companies and see, hey, how are you guys solving this problem that we might not know about or that we're not doing? And also talk to the other vendors here that, they all have different capabilities that could possibly, again, help us with our performance. So understanding kind of what else is out there and gathering as much info as I can from the other subscription brands that are also killing it.
Great. Is there anyone that's in our audience that has a question for Mel about Dollar Shave Club or maybe about any of the other lifestyle? No, she's like, please don't ask me a question.
I'm looking at my friends.
No. Nobody from the front row is able to ask questions. No. You guys can ask questions if you like. Anybody have a question for Mel at all? Well, they're going to let you off the hook. Maybe, yes. And say it loud, and I'll repeat it so everybody else can hear it. Is there a new tool that you're excited about trying out or testing on your own?
Yes. I would say that I think I mentioned it halfway through, but it's one we've had for a few months. It's called Full Story. So you can see exactly what the customers are doing on your platform. And that's been really, really helpful for us because, again, I think we talked about this when I was speaking, but we assume a lot about what customers are doing, but actually going in there and seeing like the actions that they're taking, it's very interesting because you can come up with a lot of trends that then are helpful. Then you can initiate new plans based on kind of what you're seeing. So yeah, I would say that platform.
Good question. Thanks for asking. Anybody else? Go ahead. Say it nice and loud. All right. The question is, what are the two biggest metrics that you hone in on as it relates to subscription business?
Okay. Not like for lifecycle specific, just overall subscription. Yeah. So currently, we look at LTV is obviously one of the biggest ones because as we're talking about additive subs, that's a huge one for us. And then also one that I had mentioned was the additive subs because that for us, we're noticing that if customers have over 2 products in their box, then they're a lot more likely to stay. And so that's another one that I would say like those two.
Nice. One more question. Anybody else? Going once? All right, go ahead. How is your, I didn't hear the question. Go ahead.
He said, how is the women's brand kind of affecting the work that we're doing at Dollar Shave Club? So like I said before, I'm obsessed with the products, so they've been amazing. Something that we're noticing about our female buyers is that they are a lot more likely to adapt a full routine. So what we noticed when we first launched the male line, the men would buy just the razors, so getting them to buy other shave aids and things like that is a little bit harder of an upsell. With the women, we created a lot more bundles that kind of rounded out the routine. And we're noticing that the female base has a lot higher subscriptions per subscriber rate than the men's brand so far. So it's only been launched for 3 weeks, but that's kind of what we're noticing.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Mel, Fox, thank you for sharing, and thanks for being on the stage. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the SubSummit podcast. If you want to be in the room with the operators building the next era of subscription and commerce, head to subsummit.com and grab your pass now. Make sure to follow the SubSummit podcast so you don't miss upcoming interviews with the founders, brands, and partners shaping the industry. We'll see you at the crossroads.